In the headlines, 14 died, 10 others rescued as boat capsized in Sokoto. Another 10 people die, several injured on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway tanker explosion. Interpol arrests over 70 suspected fraudsters linked to Nigeria. Away from Nigeria, UK Prime Minister Liz Truss resigns after 6 weeks as party chooses October 28 to pick next Prime Minister. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ila. Thank you for joining. And now the details. At least 14 are said to have drowned when an overloaded passenger vessel capsized in the Shagari local government area of Sokoto State, a local official said on Thursday. The victims, 11 men and 3 women, were traveling for an event marking the birth of Prophet Muhammad on Tuesday when the accident happened. The administrator of Shagari district, Aliu Abubakar Dantani, told AFP that they recovered the bodies of the 14 victims and buried them Wednesday, adding that 10 other passengers were rescued by local divers. Now, tragedy struck on Thursday morning around the Shagamu axis of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway when a tanker explosion claimed the lives of 10 persons. The Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC Sector Commander in Ogun State, Ahmed Umar, while commenting on the incident, said 2 fuel-laden tankers, 2 trucks and 1 bus were involved in the explosion. He said that 3 of the vehicles were burnt in the inferno, 10 persons lost their lives, while 2 escaped with injuries. The FRSC official said that death toll may rise as recovery efforts is ongoing. He said that while the cause of the incident remained unknown, eyewitnesses attributed it to overspeeding by one of the trucks who lost control to smash into the tanker. Now, the Federal High Court in Gusau adjourned to October 27th for definite hearing the suit filed by the Northern Youth Assembly and others against Governor Bello Muhammad and 3 others for alleged perjury. The group alleged that there were discrepancies in the academic and birth certificate Governor Bello Muhammad presented to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to seek re-election in the 2023 general election. The report
was transferred to the Federal High Court, Gusau, the Zamfara State capital. At the resumed hearing of the suit on Wednesday, the presiding judge, Justice Aminu Bappa Aliu, adjourned the case till October 27th for definite hearing. Counsel to the first respondent, Governor Bello Muhammad Shamsuddin, holding brief for Ahmad Raji, SAN, said the first respondent filed a motion of preliminary objection on the matter. He said that the plaintiffs were not known to law as they were not registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission as required by law.
The parties have filed and exchanged their pleadings, that is the origination summons and the defense on the part of the defendant, which have already filed, and it was served on the plaintiff who executed this application, that is Jordan with the Assembly. And we've already filed a notice of criminal objection that this court doesn't have the jurisdiction to entertain this case. And the case was mentioned and it was adjourned to 27th of this month for hearing of the application that was filed by the Northern Assembly.
Mr. Misbah Salahuddin, who appeared for the plaintiffs, declined to speak to the press, saying he had no clearance from his client to do so. However, the documents provided by the group as contained in the suit claimed there were 3 different dates of birth submitted on 3 occasions to INEC between 2015 and 2022. The petitioners in the suit claimed that the documents Governor Muhammad presented to INEC for the 2015, 2019 and the 2023 elections regarding his secondary school qualifications were not the same. The plaintiffs therefore prayed the court to declare a case of perjury and non-possession of valid minimum secondary school certificate against the governor. Justice Bappa Aliu said the court would, on the adjourned date, commence definite hearing of the substantive suit.
The Kwara State government and the opposition People's Democratic Party are trading blames over a failed portion of the 3.7 billion naira Geri Alimi underpass constructed by the last administration. While the state government blamed Shodi Job for the failed portion, the opposition party accused the government of deliberately refusing to maintain the road. The report.
The Gary Alimi Diamond Underpass was constructed and inaugurated by the last PDP administration. Barely 3.5 years, a portion of the road has collapsed. The current APC government blamed it on the cheap work done on the road.
Just one of those projects we inherited. It's a Kwara project. It's a project where public funds have been spent, but it's unfortunate that a poor job was done. The earthwork, that's where they did the laterite, was poor quality laterite, has a lot of clay in it. And apart from that, we also have the stone base that was supposed to be done was again not done to, it's not adequate. Averagely, they were to use, as per the bill, supposed to be 10 cm stone base, but what they did there is just about 2 cm. And when I spoke with the director and the other engineers in the ministry, they were like, that's the reason why it wasn't approved.
The opposition People's Democratic Party described the allegations as reckless and malicious, especially with few months to election.
It is unfortunate that the government, just few months to election, is coming out with this kind of reckless allegation that a project that was duly completed and handed over 3 years back. Those 3 years, you didn't say anything. Now just coming that it was not properly done. It's not true. The project was properly executed and went through due process before it was approved. After it was done and completed, the National Society of Engineers from Abuja came to inspect the project and confirmed that it met the standard that was set out for it.
The government is now set to repair the failed portion to ease mobility on the road.
But yes, we've seen what is there now. We have to fix it. So you see all these things, and this is a trunk A1 road that will carry every trucks a minimum of 50 tons. But what they have put there can't even support up to 20 tons. So that's why we've seen it like that.
The Gary Alimi Underpass was designed and constructed to ease the traffic gridlock around the axis and also ease movement into Ilorin metropolis.
At least 28 serving and former state governors are seeking election into the Senate in next year's election. There is, however, growing concern among citizens on the impact of this development in Nigeria's democratic journey. In this report, Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman examines the positions of 2 former governors on the impact, cost and reasons behind the interest for the upper legislative chamber by the governors.
There are currently 14 former governors from across the Federation in the Senate taken on the business of lawmaking after serving as chief executive officers of their respective states for 8 years. What could have been the motivation behind this development?
They are always interested in occupying choice committee positions, having the opportunity to embark on the so-called oversight responsibilities, but without doing the real critical responsibilities of senators. I cannot really mention beyond 1 or 2 or 3 of them that has done something outstanding, particularly over and above others who have not been governors.
I had wanted to go back to my normal vocation of real estate development. But once you have become a public officer, you have become a public property. And if your people so wish to ask you to deploy your efforts towards adding value to them, you'll be doing injustice to them if you refuse.
How can I be a governor of 8 years of the state, and then after serving 8 years, and then I'll come back and take 1/3 to say I'm representing them?
While it remains the former governor's political and constitutional rights to seek election into any elective office, excluding the one they once served, there have been growing concerns over their impact at the legislative arms of government in the face of mounting cost of governance.
Most, if not all of them, haven't already conspired to allocate to themselves hefty or humongous amount of money as pension. So there are pensioners being paid heavily by their own states with a lot of perquisites of office.
When one leaves the office of governor, one has garnered a lot of experience, a lot of situations that was not household. Some of them are classified, some of them are opportunistic, some of them are one-off.
Though Nigeria operates a presidential democracy with a bicameral legislature, some are advocating the need to tinker with the current democratic structure with a view to freeing resources that will be channeled to better the well-being of the citizens. Shapiro Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Following the clash between traders and touts at Alaba International Market, Lagos, that left many injured on Tuesday, Traders Association at the market has called for intervention from local authorities to prevent reoccurrence of the violence triggered by extortion. A statement by Alaba International Amalgamated Traders Association Council of Sectional Heads said that activities of the touts caused pain and misery on the traders in Alaba International Market. The association said that traders are vacating the market in droves because complete blockage of the only Alaba road and extortion is becoming unbearable, as traders are made to pay between 70,000 naira and 100,000 naira for a fully cleared container or a truck before they can be allowed to convey their goods to the market. The association appealed for intervention of Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to order the arrest and prosecution of criminals. The traders also want only Volkswagen bus stop and Chemist bus stop to be designated as toll, calling for reduction in outrageous fees collected from containers, trucks and other vehicle owners. Now, over 70 suspected cyber fraudsters have been apprehended by operatives of the International Criminal Police Organization following a coordinated operation which the Interpol said confirmed the global footprint of Nigeria's Black Axe and similar organized crime groups. In its latest statement regarding the recent crackdown on West African financial crime rings, the Interpol said that the operation, codenamed Jackal, the joint law enforcement effort, mobilized 14 countries across 4 continents in a targeted strike against Black Axe and related West African criminal organizations. According to the communiqué, Operation Jackal marked the first time Interpol has coordinated a global operation specifically against Black Axe, which is rapidly becoming a major security threat worldwide. Black Axe and similar groups are responsible for the majority of the world's cyber-enabled financial fraud, as well as many other serious crimes. According to evidence analyzed by Interpol's Financial Crime and Anti-Corruption Center and National Law Enforcement. In South Africa alone, the 2 suspects arrested were wanted for online scams that extracted $1.8 million from victims. Delta State Governor and Vice Presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Ifeanyi Okowa, has called on the federal government to build new dams and desilted major rivers in the country to check flooding. Okowa made the call when he visited flood victims at some internally displaced persons camps in the state. The report.
During the 2-day tour to the IDP's camps, the Delta State Governor, Ifeanyi Okowa, urged the federal government to make efforts at desilting River Niger and River Benue to deepen the depths of the rivers to accommodate high volume of flood water. He told journalists in an interview that the best way to end the loss of lives and valuables to flood was for the government to take proactive steps, installing perennial flooding each time neighboring countries opened their dams. While commiserating with the victims' families who lost their lives and property to the flood, The governor said that 5 persons lost their lives, several houses destroyed in various communities, adding that 11 holding camps had been established to take care of those displaced by the flood.
We try to do everything to make them comfortable. I want to use this opportunity to thank all those who have been able to donate food items and other items to the various camps. And I call on all Deltans and even non-Deltans who live in Delta that they should come forth and support. Whatever government is doing, it's necessary to support them. And I think that there is a need to do that.
At Utaga Ogbe Technical College, Kwale in Unduka West, Alaka Grammar School, Ozoru in Osoko North, St. Michael's College, Ole and Osoko Central School, Ole both in Isoko South local government areas of the state. The governor also called on the federal government, corporate organizations and individuals to come to the aid of victims of flood in the state. He assured that his administration will continue to support them until they are able to return to their homes after the flood crisis. The eternally displaced expressed gratitude for government's support.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly. Nigerians hold EndSARS Memorial Procession. Details of this and more after the break.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. This is the news update on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories again. 14 die, 10 others rescued as boat capsizes in Sokoto. Another 10 people die, several injured on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway tanker explosion. Some Nigerian youths on Thursday held a procession in the Lekki area of Lagos State to mark the second memorial of the EndSARS protest. Popular comedian Debo Adebayo, also known as Mr. Macaroni, and musician Folarin Falana, better known as Falz, were some of the leaders of the procession. At the procession, policemen fired tear gas canisters and water cannon at participants over what the spokesman for the Lagos State Police Command, Benjamin Hundeyin, described as unruly behavior during the remembrance walk, adding that this called for stringent measures to be taken before the walk turned into an ugly protest. Scores of fully armed police officers were seen with about 25 patrol vans at the toll gate where the protesters had gathered in 2020 to protest against alleged brutality by the now disbanded SARS unit of the police. And in the nation's capital, many youths gathered at the Unity Fountain to mark the second anniversary of the hashtag EndSARS protest, appealing to Nigerians to stand for their rights. Kabir Lawal attends the event and files in this report.
Hundreds of young Nigerians in 2020 took to street to protest police brutality after a video went viral of a man alleged to be killed by operatives of Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS, sparking what became #EndSARS. The demonstrations rocked the country for 2 weeks and led to the government agreeing to disband SARS and set up judicial panels of inquiry to investigate the widespread allegations of abuse by officers. This year, however, youths in Abuja under the group tagged Take It Back marked this year's EndSARS remembrance low-key.
It is highly important that Nigeria should remember that the same people that are killing you, these are the same people that you want to still vote into power. And many other people who are arrested during the EndSARS are still in prison. Yes. Most of them are still in prison, have not been released. The issue in Nigeria is we don't remember, we don't think. It is that enough is enough, and we have stand up to say enough is enough.
Some youths who spoke to our correspondent said that the youths have to stand up for their rights, adding that it will not be good not to remember those who lost their lives 2 years ago.
Innocent people were just agitating for the betterment of Nigeria. Innocent people that were holding flag for the people that, oh, we want a good Nigeria that will be able to speak for the less privileged. We want a good Nigeria that will be able to agitate for the good people of Nigeria. The government should try as much as possible to protect each and every citizen of Nigeria.
The youth is now looking as if we, the youth, are relaxing, and it's not supposed to be like that. We're supposed to be together and join hands together for a better nation. I'm expecting that we're supposed to see a lot of crowd here, plenty of crowd, so that we can do our protest in peace and pass out the message that we are trying to pass across.
It will be recalled that 7 states did not join the protest: Borno, Jigawa, Kano, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara states, and those where the judicial panels did sit were hit by the prolonged adjournments, with members of the police not showing up when called to give testimony. They were criticized for lack of transparency. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Osun State government has been charged to do more for the special schools in the state to encourage children with disabilities to attend schools. This is against the backdrop of inadequate facilities and personnel to cater for children with disabilities and make special education easily accessible in the state. Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade has more.
The secondary school for persons with special needs in Osogbo was established in 2007 and has about 200 students who are living with different disabilities. Sign language is the main medium of communication in the school. Despite their conditions, these students are happy. However, there are many challenges confronting the school, including lack of necessary facilities and security threat. A female student with disabilities in the school was raped when she moved out from her hostel in the night to use toilet a few meters away. Incidents like this is affecting enrollment into the school in recent time. A partially deaf mute student admitted newly into the school, Zainab, declined the admission, insisting on attending conventional school instead.
I can cope in the normal school. I prefer the normal school to the special school.
Eunice Alani, who taught Zainab when she was in primary school, said the girl is keenly willing to be educated.
And normally she's ready to learn. I think our problem is not just full deafness. I think she can lip read, and because of that she has already said she's not willing to go to school of people with special needs, that she's ready to mingle.
a disability specialist, Benjamin Ayeni, said there is need to make conventional schools accessible to children with disabilities so that they can mix and grow with other children rather than putting every child with disability in special schools only.
It's all about self-determination. It's all about giving the girl the freedom to choose what she wants for herself. And I think it's a good decision for her to have been able to speak out and state that she wants to be with those in mainstream school. And I think this is what is being encouraged globally and Nigeria in terms of inclusive education. It will give her the opportunity to interact with others who are not persons with who are not children with disabilities, and by so doing, they begin to understand and appreciate disability.
Ayeni posits that access to education for children with disabilities is their right and should be given special attention. Amid Ojegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
And away from Nigeria, the election to replace outgoing UK Prime Minister Liz Truss as leader of the Conservative Party will take place on October 28th, a party official said on Thursday. Chairman of the influential 1922 Committee of the Backbench MPs, Graham Brady, disclosed this to reporters following Truss' announcement of her resignation. There have been calls for her to resign in the preceding weeks. In a brief announcement, the outgoing Prime Minister said that she was leaving because she could not deliver on the mandate of ensuring low taxes and high growth economy. And it's a wrap on Trust News Update. Watch more via all our social media platforms, and also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ila. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.